Have another beer, buddy.
Chatty chat chat chat. I think that they probably said that being shorter is advantageous.
Well, they need to teach me then. There you go. So we had to poke a little fun at him. Call you Ginger Swag.
Yeah. If you weren't bowlers, what would you have liked to have done instead? Anything else. Literally anything else.
That's a great answer.
The horse is so dead that it's on some kid's school project on a landfill already.
And there you have
that one before.
No. We'll talk about that one.
Terrible idea.
Woof. You think so?
Storm says, sup.
Yeah. Still our pickles. Hi, Puggles. I know. Yeah, they're going to be locked down here with me, so they're probably going to be jumping all over me the entire show because Angel Bowls on Wednesday nights now. So
I keep forgetting it's Wednesday.
Come on,
totally
Buck.
feels like a Monday.
Hi, buddy.
Totally feels like Monday.
I know. You need attention, Buck. I know.
What's up, everybody?
You poor buddy. I know.
Let everybody cycle in here, but welcome to episode number 94 of the Breakdown Pair.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to discuss a little bit this evening the PBA League, which Luke and I both actually did not get to watch much of. And then the Clash last night I absolutely did not watch, but we still have some opinions on it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that, and then we'll discuss the disaster of Swiss trios that we had this weekend. So
Yeah. And there's a lot of things that we can kind of work in there too about people going to tournaments and bowling against that caliber of players and stuff. So
nothing wrong with just absolutely shitting on yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
It's good for the morale, right?
Uh-huh.
Howdy from Pacific North, wet, nice, and drizzly here.
Yeah.
What's up?
Howdy. Yeah.
It's like 77 degrees and sunny here in Topeka, Kansas.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really nice the next week, 2 weeks, something like that. I might have to make an excuse to get out and go golfing or something. But
oh yeah, I wouldn't
probably
complain.
not going to happen, but it's going to be like the highs in the low 80s for like the next week and a half.
Yeah, it's nice.
The
weather was terrible on the way home Sunday. That sucked. Driving in the rain the whole time, and it was chilly. I had to throw on some damn sweatpants.
Mm-hmm. I think I got a little bit ahead of it, so it wasn't too bad for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you guys were, 30, 45 minutes behind me. I just got sprinkled on a little bit.
Oh, okay. I did get to stop and eat Mexican food on the way home, so that was a plus.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you call a penguin at the North Pole? Did he already put the answer in here? Really lost. That's good.
That's going to go over his heads.
That's a good one. I'm sorry, my eye itches here. Don't mind me. Yeah, I've got a little bit of a new setup here. This is all temporary behind me here. So this was just put together. I'm going to do some shelving and stuff. I got a new desk, actually, and a new gaming chair. So getting used to this gaming chair is kind of nice, actually. Nice little back support. So, and I'm having some whiskey on the rocks.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm starting with.
What are you doing, Bob?
And it really does look like there's a lot more in here than what there is. It's got one of those giant ice balls in it, so it makes it. Yeah. What are you drinking on? Anything?
I'm going to pour something here in a minute. Everybody that came for KCO brought me all kinds of stuff, and one in particular, Derek brought me like seriously 30 or 40 different beers.
Sweet.
And so there's a couple duplicates on one of the duplicates I'm going to drink. He brought me a lot of IPAs. Okay. So I'm going to save those for when you can also partake. But there's one in particular that he brought that I know that you're not going to want to have anything to do with.
Let me guess. It's a sour.
Yeah. Victory Brewing Company Berry Monkey Fruited Sour Tripel.
Yeah, no, that sounds terrible.
So yeah, we're gonna do that.
By the way, I tried to dial these lights in on this new set. Does it look better? Not as shady under my hat?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. Can't drink. Grubby has kids at school. Got me sick. Aw. Poor guy. I know. I I was down for the count after our last show for like 2 weeks. I didn't throw a shot after that first or that show. So I completely understand. Whatever it was, I started coughing a little bit towards the end of our show. And boy, it's finally just going away. I think it finally started going away before we started Swiss this last weekend. So.
Man, is this going to fit?
Yeah. We did almost get struck by lightning at a brewery this weekend.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. It was nice outside, and it was kind of sprinkling a little bit. And we're like, okay, well, we'll just sit out here until we can't sit out here anymore. And then the lightning strikes progressively got closer and closer. And then there was one that was like, we saw it, and then we heard it a half a second later. And so we just like, okay, we're done. We're packed up and went inside. And like 1 minute later, like 60 seconds, just downpour.
Oh, I mean, downpour. I mean, we had 80-mile-an-hour winds and everything. So
yeah, there were people that went back out to the door to take some pictures.
Yeah, it was intense.
Down that hard, and it went from nothing to downpour instantly.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. It wasn't even supposed to rain from what I knew going into Wichita that weekend. So, but I don't know. Not a happy camper with it.
That's tasty.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's good.
You had a look on your face like you're like, I'm not sure.
No, I was going to make a funny about, yeah, you would definitely hate this.
Was it Derek Wozniak that gave that to you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I got the bowl all weekend on the same pair with him. He was on my team, too. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he shot 300 in doubles and singles, I think, the very first game.
Yes, he did.
So that was really cool. We've had a couple close calls the last couple of years. Chris Cannon had the front 10 a few years ago at Lunar.
Yep.
I had the front 11 in team last year.
But you shot 99, didn't you?
No, it was like 97 or something. It was 96. For
some reason I thought you got to 99 at least.
No, it went high.
It's all good.
But yeah, we got some people getting some money back, and I had a good 6-game combine. We had a couple of good double sets. I don't think we had some individual sets for team, but no team really did anything.
No.
But it was a lot of fun.
Shout out to Riley Patton, who bowled in our group. A lot of you that watch this show know who Mr. Riley is. He bowled. He's actually on an absolute heater right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he bowled his ass off all weekend for that. I don't think he shot anything under 740. I don't think for everything.
No, and Tommy Patton just gave him a load of shit for not getting any brackets.
Well, he's not wrong.
Yeah. Well, he shot well, but going into Belton, you don't think that you're going to shoot 15, 20.
That's fair.
Especially if you're Riley, who doesn't have the greatest history in that building, but he bowled really well, and I'm sure he's going to. I haven't seen any standings. They had the final weekend here, and so they're still wrapping things up. I haven't seen anything, but I'm pretty sure that he's going to win Combine and all events.
It would be hard to not win Combine. I mean, a lot of the bowlers, a lot of the bigger players were gone this week. So there's a tournament there was a big tournament in Springfield that Casey Murphy ran, another one of those doubles tournaments in Springfield.
Yeah.
And then we had the Swiss going on. So I doubt that their squads were very big this last weekend.
Yeah.
So,
how's league going? We can talk about.
Yeah.
We can talk about league.
Bowled league last night. It was Gage, so yeah. I think I had 630.
Yeah.
630 throwing the ball awful too, so that helps.
Yeah.
But how's Thursdays going for you? I know we discussed it a little bit, but
yeah, Thursdays are going really well for the team. We've got a team this year that we're not going to blow the doors off anybody, but we're not going to lose. We're not going to give anything away. Yeah. We've won a lot of games this year, like 840 or 850 to 820 or 830. I mean, nobody's really scoring that well in the league. The averages are down. The new pins are just they're the toughest. They're the toughest new pins I've ever bowled on. But as a team, we're doing really well. I think our lowest point total is 17 and the highest is 25. And so we're just sitting in that 21 to 22 point zone, which I'm fine with. Now we're bowling James's team tomorrow night. So, and they've either shot like 820 or 1020. You know, it's like we were watching them. Ryan Miller and Jesse decided to be cute. It said something about Ryan said something in the draft, and he's like, "Oh, you better," he told James, like, you better be careful. I'll throw urethane at you. And then he actually did. And so they had kind of a rough game. They shot like 840 or something to start, and then the second game was like 980 or something. So James's team, when they all get going and they're all on a heater, they're going to be unbeatable. But they've also got some games where they've got a couple two-handers and Smallwood, and if they're off all at the same time, or if the lanes get choppy or they get a bad pair or something like that, it can get a little rough. But I mean, that team is still good enough to where they're gonna be just fine, and they're gonna be pretty tough on us tomorrow night. So
we've got Crouch tomorrow night. So my old captain from last year, get to bowl him tomorrow night on wonderful 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not kidding; those new pins are awful. Speaking of new pins, Gage finally put new pins in too, and they didn't clean the decks or anything. So they thought the bottoms of them would be grippy enough, but they're not, and they just slid around, so it looked like the decks hadn't been cleaned in 6 years.
Cool.
Yeah, it was terrible. But anyways, my team has not been very good to start this year. All of us really haven't done that great. I think I'm averaging 221 to start the year, which isn't terrible. It's respectable. But a few of the guys that were new to the league, I think I discussed this, that had never bowled in a format or anything like this. So they were pressing quite a bit early. We haven't won a lot of points. Tobias, that bowls with me, he'll come around. He started out a little rough, but he doesn't bowl in the house shot there ever. So, but the last couple of weeks he showed some promise, which is a good thing. I know he'll come around. We got 22 last week, so that was a big turnaround for us. We got 22 off of Russ Wilson's team too. So Ronnie Bell, that was I don't remember what round I took him in, but he's the one that was really struggling on the struggle bus the first few weeks. He finally came around and shot 740 this week, so that's big out of the leadoff spot. So,
yeah.
So we're towards the bottom, but that's okay. Weeks like that are encouraging, and see if we can keep this going. Looking forward to it because I do enjoy bowling with the guys. They're good. They're good. Tops kid Austin is a really, really super cool kid. Fun to bowl with, so it'll hopefully keep trickling up. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'll have him a new spare ball next week. So I actually ran out of plug. I didn't know that I still had like a half a bottle of hardener. And so I went to look for my other bottle of compound, couldn't find it. And I'm like, why do I have, but I remember having some issues with some of the compound bottles, like half the bottle was hard or something. And so normally it's 2 to 1. So you get a bottle of hardener and you get 2 bottles of compound and they all disappear at the same time. And so I've got a half a bottle of hardener and I'm looking around for the compound. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I just don't have it. And so, yeah, he'll have a new spare ball. And he's going to be bowling with us on Friday nights because I bowl with his mom and dad.
Yeah,
they bowl on our Friday night team along with James. And whenever we're not there or whatever, or they can't make it or something because they've got a younger kid that has baseball games and stuff, and so what are you talking about?
Yeah. Tobias figured something out. Well, helped him out a little bit last week. He took a bevel knife to where that piece in his finger was. And he said it helped quite a bit. So,
come on, buddy.
That helped.
Come on.
He just wants to be on TV.
He just wants attention. It's okay, buddy. I know. It's good. I know. You like sour beer, apparently.
Yeah. At the ears.
Oh, buddy.
Well, yeah. Tobias, when you shoot 740 and get destroyed, not much you can do. No, you're right. You're 100% right. So the guys the week before when I wasn't there had a pretty good team week, and we just ran into a buzzsaw of Bo McVeigh's team. So the last 2 weeks for the guys have been really encouraging, and I'm excited to see how things go going forward. So,
yeah, because James Hott when you guys bowled Bo a couple weeks ago, Bo went like 270, 280 or something the back two, and then Hoff shot like 780 or 790 or something, and so you're just not gonna do a whole lot against that. I've got I've got the kind of team that we had last year. I mean, we don't have a James on our team, but we've got our kind of our straighter player. She hits the pocket 24/7. I don't think she's ever going to shoot anything huge. It's just the same thing that Jaden ran into last year, where the first couple games are fine, but then once you get into the transition, depending on who you're bowling with, and it's going to be interesting tomorrow night because there's going to be a bunch of transition. And so it could get choppy for the last game, but Ryan can move all over the place. I'm on the left side, so I'm not affected. And Josh King is two-handed, but he likes to stay kind of straighter. And so depending on who we're bowling, he kind of gets in the weeds the last game. But it just seems like we've had somebody different every single game step up and get something done. Like Josh carried us the first couple weeks. Ryan shot 720 last week. I'm averaging like 215, and I haven't really done anything big, but aside from 1 week, I haven't had anything bad. It's just kind of doing the 640, 650 thing. And Corinne's hanging out there, and so we just haven't had like a bad team game yet. We've had some individual bad games, but we haven't had anything catastrophic yet. And we just have figured out a way to end up winning 20 points at the end of the night. And we haven't put in huge scores, but we're just a team that's not going to give it away to anybody. They're going to have to earn it. So
yeah,
I'm perfectly fine bowling with a team like that. Everybody gets along. Everybody's pretty chill.
Good.
So yeah, I'm really happy with. I'm really glad that everybody drafted so weird this year, because I got a better team than I thought that I was going to get, or that I hoped I was going to get. It's just this too, unless you're one of the first couple captains drafting and you get the big average coming in.
Yeah.
You're just. I'm not going to have. We don't have it again. We don't have a James. We don't have a Russ Wilson, Jay Futrell, whatever else. But we've got enough consistent firepower that we're going to weather everything. But super big numbers like you guys have been up against a couple times.
Well, yeah. Jesse Bauer did it to us week 1. Bo did it to us a couple weeks ago, and then we bowled you guys. I don't think we had a great week either. So I think that was just a bad week all around for us.
Yeah, I think that was the second week that we bowled you guys.
Yes.
Either the second week or the first week.
Second week, because we bowled Jesse Bauer the first week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you guys, I remember watching you guys because you were next to us, and then. But this is another fun thing about the league is that once you draft a team and you get to going with the team, the first several weeks are just you're with a new team. Everybody's a little nervous. You're getting to know each other, whatever else. You're trying to figure out team dynamics and whatever else. But the second half, you bowl the same teams on the same schedule all over again. And it's kind of interesting sometimes what happens the first half versus what happens the second time you bowl somebody. So it could be
Correct.
Your guys are going to settle in.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, we're going to be good. We'll be fine.
I think we're going to figure some stuff out. Now I'm going to be lead off tomorrow night because Josh and Ryan are out averaging me so far this year, and last week was the 5th week, and so now the current season averages take over. And so everybody's team lineup is going to be a little bit different. And that's fairly normal for some things to get shaken up. You get entering averages and people either overperform or underperform or whatever else. And so the lineups are going to shake up a little bit. And so I'm not going to be bowling James tomorrow, which I'm really happy about. Let somebody else fall on that sword.
We get to bowl. So we're bowling crouched on 1 and 2, like I said, but that's team. There's crouch, and then there's 3 upright or up 10. Gosh, I can't talk. Up 10 dumpers. Yeah. So I'm really curious to see how they transition tomorrow, especially being on that pair. I'm sure I'm going to have to get pretty far left, which is fine. I don't mind doing that, but because it's Norm Brewster, Noah Belt, and who else am I missing on his team? Gosh, I can't think. Is it that dude Zybach, or I can't pronounce his last name?
No, he bowls with Tennyson.
I know there's another guy that he picked that they literally all dump it up 10.
Yeah. Yuri. Yuri.
Yuri, yes. So Yuri, another very, very straight player. So
yeah.
We'll see how that goes. So ready to report that here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, James. Sorry, man. I'm just prevented by the rules. You top two averages have to bowl in the 3-4 spot. So I mean, I can't do anything about it.
My team bowls Haas team next week. Oh, do we really? I didn't know that. Cool. I like it.
Yep.
Very nice.
I think we did bowl Bo's team already. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. I think that we kind of escaped that one. Yeah, we did, because I don't know. We kind of escaped that one. I think we escaped a couple of them, because I think you guys are going to be better next time we bowl you two. And then Tennyson's team, we escaped them. I think they're going to be a whole lot better next time we bowl them. We haven't bowled Tyler Gromlovitz is going to be rough. Jesse's team is nasty. There's a few other nasty teams. Of course, this is only week 6, so I mean, it's not like we haven't seen most of the league yet. But I think James is going to be the first. As far as this half anyway, we're gonna, and he's got two handers. Smallwood kind of just plunks it up 10. James kind of goes wherever he needs to go at. But Josh King is kind of along the lines of one of the guys that James has on his team that both of his two-handers actually play pretty far right. They're not like the Brent Coolmans or whatever that swing the whole lane. Matt Carpenter and DJ both have pretty high speed, and so they do play right for a two-hander anyway. And so the track
really hard. They throw it pretty hard. That's probably why, I would think.
Yeah. They both got pretty good speed, and so that one's going to be interesting. So anyway, I put this comment up on the screen for like 30 minutes now. So,
do you want to get into PBA League Finals and Clash? I know we said we didn't watch much of it. We could talk too a little bit about the format of the Clash. I know you and I talked a little pre-show what your thoughts were, but nice to share it with the peeps.
Yeah, let me get this one question. Nico asked how long it takes to break in a batch of pins from your experience. A few months.
Yeah,
I think it's normally It's normally probably 3 solid months before you get the. Now Royal Crest, it has a lot of traffic. And so it probably won't take quite as long, but I haven't seen 5 weeks. I haven't seen any difference.
I haven't either. I think they're about the same. So
yeah, they
still sound new. I mean,
yeah, they sound new. They look new, and they got their full 24/7 pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
So, woof.
Yeah, it's taking them a little bit. So hopefully they break in a little bit sooner than that. But I mean, last year I thought the pins were perfect. Like I like them when they're worn down and broke in like that. So
yeah,
cherry picking.
Yeah, I made a Facebook comment the other day about people cherry picking stuff.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so yeah, we can talk about the PBA League. Didn't really get to watch it. Kind of saw a lot of stuff. I got into some debates.
I saw that.
Yeah, James makes a point here. The new pins went in with a few weeks left of Summer League. And so, yeah, they were in which is really weird because I had a pretty good set the last week of Summer League. Or the next last week, or when they put the pins in, but it's just they transition to winter leagues, and all of a sudden they're just impossible. So.
At least they're not hooking as much as they were like the very last week of summer league and all throughout the summer. My God, that place was just on fire. The PBA league, I didn't get to watch any of it. We were bowling, I think, most of that.
We had KCO weekend. We had people in town, and we were just crazy busy for 4 or 5 solid days. So
I know they had some shows on during that week. Like I did get to watch a little bit of the semis with the Portland Timbers or Portland and oh gosh, who did they bowl in the semis? Oh, I don't remember off the top of my head, but obviously that shows you how amusing or entertaining it was. All I know is that night when I was watching, the right lane got awful. Like the left lane looked good, the right lane just got like super tight, and whoever was on the left lane was obviously going to win and move on.
Mm-hmm.
It was obvious. The excitement from the PBA league, I could still see in the PBA league that they definitely need some format changes. I still don't like it that they name teams from a city and they don't compete in the city other than like Portland.
Yeah.
That to me, that's just silly. They did do what you and I discussed earlier in the season before the season started, where they started doing them during the actual year and bowling actual events, which I think that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
However, I think that it just needs something else.
Well, I think Brooklyn Rob from one of those Sweep the Rack guys said the same thing. He put something out there. He's like, the league needs to do something. They need to change something up. They need to switch something up because it's just kind of what do you agree? I know.
Yeah.
But he said, yeah, something needs to change. And part of the problem is we're so far removed from the PBA season that people are just not in watching bowling mode. And so it's something that shows up. And unless you're like a super diehard that can't get enough of it, if we didn't have KCO, I probably wouldn't turn it on. I might have if I didn't have anything going on, or if it's like one of the nights and I'm up there editing a ball review or something, and put it on the TV and put it in the background just so I know what's going on. But it's one of those things that it's not PBA season, and so I'm not looking for it. I'm not thinking about it, and didn't really see a whole lot about it on social media outside of people complaining about AJ Johnson again. But I don't know. It's just. But
yeah, I don't know.
For those in the comments that did watch it, what do you guys think? What do you think? How was it enjoyable? Was it now the Baker format is always exciting, no matter what. I don't even care if it's nobody. The Baker format is just fun. It's just way too much fun. And so I think that's the good thing that they have going for them. Plus, you get to see a lot of your favorite people all on TV at the same time instead of just having like a 5-person step ladder and you only see 5 people this week and 5 people this week and 4 people this week and whatever else. And so it gets more people on TV more frequently, but it doesn't feel genuine because it's, well, like you said, they did have some competitions at each of the tournaments every week. So they got some actual league games in, but I don't think that they were televised or anything. And so
they were on Bull TV.
Bull TV. Yeah. But now they've got some moron on there, some like WWE commentator on there that has no idea what he's talking about.
You talking about Fanta?
No, Fanta's fine. He's okay. He's new and he's still trying to figure it out. I don't mind. I don't mind Mr. Van down by the river.
He drives me nuts. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
All the guys, Dave Ryan and Rob Stone and all those guys, when they first came in, didn't know what they were doing. He's trying hard, and he's a solid commentator as far as running a show.
Who's the WWE guy you're talking about? Now it's gonna kill me.
He's on Bull TV, and so because Mike Flanagan took a break for a little while.
Yes.
Or they weren't. Some idiot was on there that doesn't have any clue what he's talking about whatsoever, and hype things up and get super excited. It's like I don't even want to watch it with the sound off. It's just like, well, I'm just not watching this anymore. So I haven't watched Bull. I stopped as soon as he got on there. I just stopped watching Bull TV altogether. So I'm really glad that I'm paying $120 a year to not watch anything. But
I know who you're talking about now. I don't know his name, but I remember turning it on one of the tournaments, and I was like, "Who the heck is this guy?" It was awful. I don't remember who he was with. It was two guys that we'd never heard before, and then the one guy, yes, he sounds like a WWE guy. I mean, he gets excitement. I mean, I guess, but I mean, it is what it is. I'd rather listen to Fanta.
Yeah, I think what there was one show where they weren't in Portland, where they had a bunch of people in the crowd like cheering, chanting some nonsense or whatever, and that was definitely very fake.
That was the one that was at Steel City and Brews, I think. That's the one that the two people that own BowlerX.com, they own that center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of their names off the top of my head right now, but yeah, they're trying to
Massachusetts.
They're trying to create a Portland type environment, which is great. I don't really think that you can. I think you've got to come up with your own thing. Portland is completely organic. That just happened. And so I don't think that you can really create that. And the way that I'm not sure if they tried to do that and it just was really annoying, but they didn't sell it well. Or what actually happened was really annoying.
Yeah, it was not good. It was not good at all, actually.
Yeah.
It is a cheap early whiskey called Early Times. I actually really enjoy it. It's a good sipper. So I was asked what was in the whiskey glass.
Yeah, I did get some good whiskey selections. I got some more of the Isles of Rye. That's just fantastic stuff. Appreciate Heath for that. And then Ego brought me some maple whiskey. It tastes kind of like the Pecan Rebel Stroke whiskey. It's pretty good. So
maple.
Yep, maple whiskey. And I looked at it and I'm kind of like, okay. And it's got the cork in it is literally like 2 inches wide. Like you open the top of it, it's like a freaking jug. I might have to go get it just to show it to everybody because the bottle is very interesting.
It's a friggin' laser beam.
Yeah.
Sorry. So have you tried it yet? I'm assuming you have since you said
I opened it. Yeah, everybody was over at the house all day on Thursday, and so I had last Thursday.
How syrupy did it taste?
It is fairly sweet, but it's a good sipper. It's one of those that yes, it's a flavored whiskey, but it is still whiskey, and so it's not like the nasty sugary like butter shots. Or I do like butter shots, however, but it's not like the flavored vodka that's just like syrup. Awful. That's just disgusting. This is flavored whiskey, and so it's actually pretty good. It's not something that you want to sit and drink a ton of. But it is really good. And if you could make, there's definitely some stuff that you could make with it. If you made a White Russian with it or something, holy crap. It'd be fantastic.
ADHD whiskey. Send us an email to the breakdown pair because that way have your email.
Yeah.
Our email's in the description.
Yeah, it's in the description. I'll go ahead and pop it up on the screen here too.
Yeah, send us an email. Luke and I both.
Anybody wants to send us anything?
Yeah, especially if you tell us whiskey. The one vodka I did like, and I may be super girly for this, but the cake vodka actually was not bad.
The cake vodka works.
Yeah, it's good.
The other stuff tastes like syrup.
Yeah,
like the blue raspberry crap and the strawberry crap and whatever else. Ugh. Blech.
Yeah, they had a bacon flavored one too. It's like, do I pour this over my eggs or what do I do here?
Right.
Does this make me a drunk if I pour bacon vodka over my eggs?
Yeah.
2 different men's of John L. Sorry, I'm reading the quotes here, the comments.
Yeah. I'm looking.
I know we kind of got off the wrong path, but like on the PBA League finals, so we didn't discuss it too much because we didn't get to watch it, but or just the PBA League in general, is there a format you guys would like to see? Any changes? I know we mentioned in the comments. So, what would you like to see different with the league? I think that the league has a good footing, but it needs to be better. Mm-hmm. I think they can do. I don't know what it is, but I think that they have something that if they do the right thing, it can become a big thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It needs the right touch.
Yeah, and the problem with that is that it costs so much to produce a TV show, so that even if they have the league at some of those stops and they put it on Bowl TV, well, Bowl TV is a paid service, so it needs to get off of Bowl TV, number one. They need to put it on, what they really need to do is put it on their YouTube channel, the PBA's YouTube channel. I think that would go a long ways towards engaging people a little bit more with the kind of tournament things, but then you just can't have it 2 or 3 months after the season's over.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
I think it's just it's a scheduling thing, and I understand that, you don't necessarily. This is theoretically a great time to have it because you start the PBA season in January, you run through most of the year. You don't want to have the league finals in June when nobody's bowling. It makes sense to kind of save it, and it's like, okay, well, let's start the bowling season. People are getting back into bowling; they're getting back interested in it again, and so we want to have something for people to watch. Because we just started. People are going to get bowling fever a little bit. Hi, Puggles. I know. You're a nice pig.
Aww.
You're the sweetie pig. I know. You're a funny pig. I know. You're a funny pig. You are. You're a funny pig.
Why would you meet her at a bar at 10 in the morning? I figured she was a raging alcoholic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Puggles?
10 in the morning.
Hi, Puggles. Yeah.
Make a deal with him. Go ahead. Sorry, finish your thought there.
No, I was going to say, I just saw it on Andrew said the city affiliations are dumb, like you said. It's kind of like the esports team. If anybody watches, the Overwatch League isn't a thing anymore, but Call of Duty or whatever, and they have and so all the organizations that people knew, it's kind of like, okay, well, now you're the Chicago Huntsman. This doesn't make any sense because they're not in Chicago, number one.
Yeah.
But
televise the draft. Okay.
Televise the draft would be fun.
They do something on Facebook, I thought.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
they do. I think that they kind of talk through some things, but it's, I don't know. They don't want to hurt. This is the thing. It's a thing, but they don't want to hurt people's feelings, and so I get that because that's our draft for our Thursday night league is not. It's just captains only, and unless you as a captain decide to go tell everybody what happened in the draft, they don't want anybody to know because they don't want anybody's feelings hurt if they were picked in a later round than they thought they should have been, or if there's any trades, if you get drafted and then somebody trades you away, they don't want any of that. But this is a professional deal. This is a little bit different. I think it would be interesting to, and I think that they did have something where I remember the I don't know where they put it at though, was the thing, is I think that they were talking to while the draft was going on or after the draft, they were talking to some of the team captains and they asked them, okay, well, what was your thought here? What are we doing? Or what are we going with?
I think they did that on Extra Frame one year.
Yeah. And that would make sense. That would be fun. But I think the other thing is that the teams need to, it's like a legacy format too, or something like that, where it's like a keeper league where you keep 3 players every year or something like that. Yeah. And you just pick a couple new ones.
You can pick 3. You can keep 3.
That to me, I think is a little. I would think that you should only be able to keep 1 or 2. I think that mixing it up a little bit, and then you have the same team. You have a lot of the captains that still pick the same people. It's like the Brooklyn Styles always used to be the old Brunswick guys, because you have Walter Ray and Parker and Mike Albee and whoever else. That it's like, holy shit. Are we trying to compete here, or are we just taking all the old Brunswick guys,
Oh, they did stream the draft on YouTube this year. Okay.
I thought I remembered something like that because there was some interesting banner and some interesting back and forth, but there was also, because I remember some of the controversy and the drama, like Zach Wilkins didn't get drafted, and then he ended up getting picked up later, and so they got to stop with some of the buddy shit. They need to draft And it's fine for our league because, some people pick the same teams every single year because they want to bowl. It's competitive, but some teams are just less concerned with the competition than they are with who they're actually bowling with for 9 solid months. But some of the buddy stuff, it's the PBA league. You have to draft a little bit more aggressively, and you have to draft to win, not draft your friends. So that, I think, has rubbed a few people the wrong way too.
The one thing I thought they did do right was actually, you just mentioned it, with Zach getting picked up, not being drafted, was making it where they can drop a player and add players.
Yeah.
I know usually it's for injury, but I think they did it for struggling players this year. Player was struggling. I think Zach got added for a player that was struggling.
Yeah, Ryan Simonelli.
I think it was Simonelli.
Simonelli got dropped.
And wasn't he the MVP the year before?
Yeah, he was, but he had a really bad year to start this one, and so they were able to make moves, and it sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Did they still allow the captains like Parker? Was Parker? I couldn't remember if he was a captain and was able to bowl this year.
I think that's another thing, is that they have the player manager type of thing going on. And
if they don't qualify in points and they're not a full-time PBA player, I don't think they should be able to bowl.
Yeah, and that might be one of the things is you can only draft from exempt players.
Yep.
Would be the thing, because they have exempt. They've gone back to the exempt tour idea. And so I think that this is the real thing, is that they put some real money behind it. I think that too many of them see it as like a fun thing. They see it as like a camaraderie. We're going to have fun. It's a kind of a laid back thing. But if they put some real money behind it, people would stop doing that really quick.
Yeah.
Right.
Kyle Sherman was actually hurt early in the year.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't bowl. He was actually injured. That's why he missed the first chunk of the season.
Okay. They can
save up. Go ahead.
Yeah, they can save up to 3, but this year will mess with that. Supposedly, since you have to be exempt next year to qualify to be picked before the last round, which means some from this year won't be back. So yeah, well that makes sense, is that the first 4 players on your team will have to be exempt players, and then the last round you can do whatever you want. I like that. I'm completely fine with that, because some players, had a bad year this year, but are actually good players. This is where a Wes Malott type of thing comes in, because he always crushes the league. Even if he doesn't have a great season, he's one of those guys that's like, well, Tim Mack is absolutely going to protect him, because he is just ridiculous when it comes to league time. So even if he doesn't have a great league, so I'm a little half and half with that, but I think that the majority of the team has to be players who earn their way into it by having a great year.
Correct.
And they have enough tournaments on the PBA now. It's not like they have like 9 or 10 tournaments a year. It's something they had like 15 to 20 this last year.
Yeah.
That's more than a big enough sample size to, not say, okay, well, this person's had a bad couple of years, but they're still a solid player. It's like, well, that's nice and everything, but
Yeah, Nico, we saw the West thing. It was all over PBA's YouTube. He's done.
Yeah,
and he won't be able to bowl much of the national stuff either, because he's no longer exempt. So he'll still bowl, I'm sure, like the majors and stuff. But I don't know how much he's going to bowl outside of that.
Yeah, he's not exempt, and he's going to have to. And that's another big thing that you had mentioned that I didn't know about, is that the exempt players for 2025 will not have to pay entry fees. That is massive.
It's not guaranteed checks, though, but they don't have to pay entry fees.
But that's huge that they don't have to pay entry fees, because that's several $100s to stop.
Yep.
And so that's a big incentive for people to for them to really put the effort in to say, I want to be an exempt player. I want to be a card-carrying player that can just show up to the tournament.
Yeah.
That's a really big deal, and I think it will make people chase the carrot a little bit more, because if you've got to pay to get into the PTQ, and then all the qualifying through the PTQ means is that you have to pay more money to get into the main event. That's kind of a tough sell for a lot of people. But if you get into the tournament and it's a free entry, it's like, okay, well, this is a different story, because that's several $1,000s on the year if you're bowling every event. And some players have it in their contracts where their entry fees are paid for, but that's not everybody. That's not close to everybody. So
I think the numbers for the PTQs are going to drop drastically this year. I think they're talking only like 2 or 3 a week, possibly, to make it out. And there's no point to go throw all that kind of money for 2 or 3 spots. Like it wouldn't shock me if there's weeks they don't have any.
And they'll have enough regional people that'll show up to the PTQs, a bunch of people that shouldn't be there, that want to shoot their shot. But I think they'll. But I'm not sure how many serious players you will have following the tour trying to qualify through the PTQs. I think it's more than likely going to be a lot of people, a lot of locals in the area that want to bowl the PTQ. I think it's going to be so from that perspective. It's going to be a lot fewer people that are actually going to follow the PBA to try to get in through the PTQs.
Right. Does that include the U.S. Open? That I'm not sure. I think it includes it all. I think it's the whole season, including all majors. 100% certain on that. But I just know that it is a guaranteed paid spot. Just you have to still bowl your way into a cash spot. But that's still massive. It's absolutely massive. It takes so much pressure off of a player on a week-to-week basis. I mean, it saves you a lot of money, frankly. So it's. I can't explain how massive it is. I know everybody in here is smart enough to know that. So it is. I mean, when I don't have to pay $1,000 when I'm bowling for however much the entry is, I think it's around $500 to $1,000. I think it's $500.
Yeah, I think most of the entry fees are around $400 or $500 for the national stops, and that's several days for some of these that room together and whatever else. That's several days where that might be the whole weekend's worth of expenses for them. Yeah. That might cover their expenses. Yeah. So instead of having to pay $500-$600 for expenses plus the entry fee on top of that, that their expenses are cut in half almost. Right. And so it's a lot easier to stomach if you have a bad week. It's like, okay, well, I didn't just spend $1,000, $1,500 to have a bad week. I spent a few $100.
Yeah, no, agreed. I don't know if it is, but it's still PBA titles are awarded for those, so they may still give up pay for those. I mean, because the PTQ was not cheap. Yeah, or not the PTQ. Sorry, the tour trial was not cheap. Well, it said when they said it. Brad said the whole season. So but yeah, it's massive. Could you imagine though? To finish that thought up, could you imagine though when you're planning out your expenses for the whole season of travel and everything, and you don't have to pay entry fees every week? Yeah, I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, for 20 tournaments, whatever. Just say it's $500. 20 tournaments, that's $10,000.
Yeah, like James actually just said it right here. Put that comment right there.
Yeah.
I was talking with Cam Crow about exemptions last weekend at Swiss, and he said that's $10,000 I don't have to worry about next year. So it adds up quick. Absolutely. I mean, as a touring professional, you may only make 30 in the year if you have a good year. So that's massive. So.
Woof.
And I think Cam Crow won this last weekend, didn't he?
No.
No, they did not. That's right.
No, it was Braden Malish.
Yes, that's right.
Brandon Caruso and Carter Street.
Yep, that's right. I just know that we were to the left of them all day, so we'll get into that.
Yeah. Well, we got to see a lot of good bowling this weekend.
Yeah.
Not on our pair, but
I watched Cam Crow a lot this weekend.
Yeah.
Nice pig.
Anyways, I don't know. That's the other thing too. We can parlay this into the clash. I think the PBA League Bowling Championships, the is a cool concept. I think the format with the TV show that they do, I hate the Clash format, first of all. I think it's awful. It's just glorified bowling on TV just to get bowling on TV stuff.
Yeah.
But I think if you're going to make a champion, like a PBA League Bowling Championships, it needs to be somewhat similar to what the Open does. I'd like to see divisions awarded the Duke Trophy instead of having to go bowl on TV against the pros and everything else. I mean, it's supposed to be league bowling, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong in that, but what are your thoughts?
Well, see, that's the thing is they literally call it the League Bowler Championships. And so are these people, well, and this is the thing is that as long as you buy into it, anybody can bowl it. It's just that they give the Bolero or the PBA League Bowler certification people first dibs, but then you can get in. Well, it's just like if you go to bowl the Open Championships, you don't have to actually bowl league. You just need to have your card and some kind of an average that they can use, and you can bowl the Open Championships. And so it's one of those things that it's like, yeah, okay, well, you know that Chris Prather, Verity Crawley are not bowling Bolero, bowling at Boleros and doing the PBA League certification thing. You know that's not happening. And so they're buying their way into the tournament, but they are giving those people first dibs on entries and preferential squads, whatever else. But yeah, it is kind of an odd. I understand that they're trying to make it like a bigger deal. Yeah. But I'm not a fan of the execution.
Correct. I agree with that. Somebody said in here that they don't agree with the pros. Make it a division. Make it a division that will fit them. I don't think you have to go full pro division. I think you just take certain averages and you say, boom, this is your division. You bowl for no different. You're saying, okay, here I'm in standard. I'm bowling for an eagle. This division is bowling for an eagle. Classified is bowling for an eagle. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think if you're going to make that trophy prestigious, and it is what it is, which it is a cool trophy. I may be different. I like the Duke trophy. I think it's neat.
It doesn't look like Duke.
No, it doesn't look like it at all.
The other thing is they showed that off. Oh, it's the Duke, but it looks nothing like him. They should have tried like a bird on that,
but I think that divisions and actually just bowling the event instead of having to go make it through there and then I got to go bowl the Clash on TV against the pros and everything else. It's cool. I get awarded to go bowl on TV, right? It's neat.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just I just don't like it. I don't. I didn't even watch the show. I can't watch it. I think it's boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, there is a rumor they might add another division to the Open.
Yeah,
that actually was talked about on Sweep the Rack.
Yeah, they had Chad Murphy on Sweep the Rack, and talked about there's a possibility. It's not a done deal, but there's a possibility that they're going to add another division, which I don't know. The only thing that adding new divisions just kind of dilutes the prize fund a little bit.
It does.
And I don't know that they necessarily need another division to get. What are you talking about? I'm sorry.
Tell him you talk too much.
You're just gonna have to wait because you're a dingo. Standing here blinking at me. Yeah. So
John Lander, I agree with that. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say some other nonsense about adding a division to the.
Go ahead. Go for
it. It just
add it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't care because I'm in regular, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
Lefty division to make it fair. Sometimes on the team pattern, absolutely. Doubles and singles I thought was really balanced between the sides this year. The team pattern was awful for everybody, but it was just extra awful for. And the arena at South Point is not great on the left side anyway. So.
Yeah. We finally got booked for nationals. Trevor finally got off his butt and got it done. It is the March 11th and 12th. I'm excited to go to Baton Rouge. I know Baton Rouge may not be the most fun city, but there is some damn good food down there if you like Cajun food.
Yeah, we're definitely going to hook some of that up this year. Hopefully, the last time we went in May, and it was at the end of crawfish season, and so we just didn't really get much stuff. I don't know what it's going to be like in July.
Hot.
It's going to be hot and muggy and disgusting and whatever else. And it's at the same convention center, but it'll be different lanes, and so I don't know.
It'll be nice to get back to the convention center again, where we actually get the pre-built lanes. I think that's kind of cool.
And I did really like that convention center. It was a really nice place.
And it was nice and cold in there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. It was freezing in there. But yeah, it was a big convention center. It was really nice. So you definitely weren't getting crowded in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited for that. Make my trip back to nationals. I haven't done that in a few years, so I'm excited to bowl again.
Yeah.
I've got to throw it a whole lot better than I did this weekend.
Yeah. We can, talking about bad bowling, we can segue into that if we want to, because this was one of the worst. Nationals this year was one of the worst years I ever had, but the team was brutal for everybody, but it was completely miserable on the left side. Chaz and I both did not shoot 500, and doubles and singles I thought was a really fair pattern. The pair that we were on was really weird. Like I've never experienced transition so fast on either side of the lane. I mean, the transition moved super fast on both sides of the lane, and I left 3 big fours in a row and moved on every single shot. And it's like, what in the hell is going on here? Like, I moved more inside of one game on doubles and singles than I normally move entire sets of like 6 games. Like I moved more in one game at nationals than I moved all 6 games on the same pair at KCO.
Yep.
Like
that's insane, actually.
It just didn't make any sense. And so it was, I threw it really good. I threw it awful in team, and I missed a bunch of easy spares. Team was just train wreck. Double and singles, I threw it really good, and it just didn't work out. It was just a bad whatever else. But that's just one of those things that nationals is really tough, and there's some people that have asked is it too hard for regular league bowlers who bowl on house shots and then have to go bowl on stuff that the pros fall apart on? I mean, Matty McConnerscore shot 580 in team, then he shot like 480 in doubles and 650 in singles or something like that. But it's like, if they're so hard that the pros can't even succeed on these patterns, like what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't think that they should make them as hard as they do, because if it's meant to also attract at the same time your typical league bowler. But your typical league bowler that only bowls on house shots, why the hell are they going to want to go bowl on that every year?
Yeah. And there's
maybe I'm in the minority on that, but a lot of people may like them going to nationals. It's a big event. I get the idea of putting patterns down, right? I do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
But at the same time, if I'm coming in as a 180, 190 average bowler, I'm going out of town, spending a lot of money to bowl, I'm going to want to hopefully try and score, right? So why – I don't know. It just to me, it's just making them so hard doesn't make sense.
Well, this is why the PBA, the League Bowler Championships, I don't think that they're on like straight up house shots, but they're not on what USBC puts out. They're not on 2-to-1 ratio shots that are just absolutely brutal like that team pattern was.
No.
And J.R. Raymond has talked about this a lot about scoring pace. It's like, okay, well, if the scoring pace is too high, then you add in too much element of luck, and the spray and prayers that can just mow the pins over with power, that gives them a little bit too big of an advantage. But when the conditions are so tough that you're even penalized on good shots, then that's a crapshoot the entire different direction. Because then if it's too hard, then unless you're perfect, which nobody is perfect, he said it's kind of stupid the other direction. If you have a scoring pace that's between like 210, 215, whatever, where it's tough and it keeps you honest, but it is scoreable if you're making good shots, that's the right place to be in. And I think that the Open Championships is one of the patterns borders, or it doesn't border on it. It just is too hard. Like the doubles and singles pattern this year, everybody was saying it's like, okay, well, this is a little too soft. But I think that realistically, if you have a longer version of that pattern and a shorter version of that pattern, you're fine. Team was ridiculous. Team was absolutely insane. It was completely impossible. That's why you didn't see any scores on the team pattern. Like every time they posted an honor score, it was doubles and singles, doubles and singles, doubles and singles. The team pattern was absolutely impossible.
Here's a good question, actually, from Fred. Is it really worth doing nationals? Because if you're a regular league bowler that's not used to bowling on those conditions, and they're not gonna win an eagle, so why do it? That's a fantastic question.
That's the point of the divisions.
Yeah.
So that even if you are a 150, 160 average bowler, you can still win an eagle for your, division. But at the same time, if you win a classified eagle, is that really winning an eagle? It's almost like having flights on golf. If you just happen to, if you are under like a 170 average, if you're like a 168 average bowler, let's just say the cutoff's 170. If you're a 168 average bowler and you get an eagle, but a 172 average bowler shoots a higher score and they get nothing because all of a sudden they're at the bottom of this next division, it's like, how fair is that?
Yeah.
One player gets an eagle, gets a championship, gets a shitload of money, and somebody else shoots a better score, but they place like 5,000th because they just happen to be good enough to get them right into that next upper division. What are we doing here at some point, at a certain point?
Yeah, it's a great question. It really is. I mean, it's a debate we could have for days. We probably could spend 2 hours debating it.
Oh, probably. But if you only award eagles, if you have one division and you only award eagles for the best in that one division, nobody's going to show up.
No, yeah, exactly.
I think that they need to. I would think that they need to. It's just tough because either way you go is not a good decision.
Yeah.
You can have the different divisions. I think you probably need less money in the lower divisions, kind of less prestige in the lower divisions. But if you have less incentive for people to show up, they're not going to show up.
Right.
So it's one of those things that you can talk theoretics all day long, but it's like, okay, well, if I'm a 170 average bowler or a 160 average bowler, I'm bowling in classified, and that division is worth less money. It's like, okay, well, do I really want to get better and get up to that upper division? Is it going to be worth it? It's once a year. It's 9 games. If something happens to go wrong, or I just happen to be sick that weekend, like Ryan Klaus. I think this is the first year that Ryan Klaus hasn't been sick on the weekend. It never fails that every single time we get to nationals, he ends up sick and just fighting some nonsense. And it's like, okay, well, that's great. That's my 9 games for this year. And I was just hacking and coughing through the entire thing and felt like shit. And,
I know that feeling all too well. But, yeah. But he bowled Klaus bowled pretty well, though, right? Did he bowl okay?
He bowled really well in team.
Hey.
Really well. I think he shot 670 something in team. It was like 240. Yeah, I think it was 670 because he went high 240, like 190, high 240.
Did he throw urethane?
He threw the Rattler new. So urethane,
Close.
but also kind of not urethane.
Yeah.
Yeah, not urethane.
Yeah.
Ha, ha, ha. But no, he threw it really. He had good ball reaction, but he threw it really well. He executed great.
One thing we did not do this weekend.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, I have
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up Facebook and find the list because this what? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you talking about Swiss?
Yeah, I'm talking about Swiss.
Okay, so as you're looking for that list, so you may have bowled bad at Swiss, but you were top team jerseys. Yeah, they were sexy. I know.
We did have the best jerseys, and everybody complimented us on the jerseys, so that went over well.
I can't say the words I wanted to say, but I wanted to look at Luke after day one, after we had such a bad day, and say, okay, now the tuxedos seem kind of blanked up.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Dingo?
Jerseys were top notch. I did like those, but that fun kind of went away after about 4 games. You'll see here, but we bowled really, really bad. We can definitely dump on ourselves here for the next 45 minutes or whatever. But I was pissed poor. I threw the ball awful. Mechanics were bad. Arms flying out, getting quick. I mean, I can just keep going. The list was just terrible. Luke didn't have best execution. He also trapped himself too, because in years past we get down there and urethane is usually the play on the left. But the last time we were there he threw the Cosmos, IL Cosmos a lot, and he didn't bring it this year. So
yeah, I was gonna drill one, but then it's one of those things where I've been defaulting to urethane a whole lot more because a couple years ago I was still not that great at urethane, and plus Storm didn't really have aside of the pitch black. Now that I've got all the good urethane options, I rely on that quite a bit more. But I just had Storm urethane options a couple years ago, and so the Idle Cosmos was definitely the better solution. I didn't really bowl that great 2 years ago or whatever. But the problem is that North Rock is normally a very lefty friendly house, but the Swiss pattern that they've had the last several years, urethane just looks awful on it. Even the good urethane bowls look awful. Until I tried the Black Hammer the last game and shot 2-something with it. Black Hammer, and I'm not sure I would have had that on day one, but the Black Hammer looked really good that last game.
No, you and I finally looked at each other and you said, screw it, I'm going urethane. And I said, do it. I mean, what's it going to hurt?
It got so disgusting. Well, we were on that one pair that was just absolutely brutal for a couple games. And it's like, okay, well, I can, if I'm going to shoot 150, I can do that with urethane. I'd just rather hit the pocket and miss easy spares like we did all weekend.
That's another thing we did all weekend. I missed easy spares, but I made 2 4-8-10s all weekend. So
yeah.
I made the 2 4-8-10, I think 4 times this last week.
Yeah, you did. You missed the first one that you shot at, and then you made the next 4.
Yes.
So
and they were like pure textbook.
Oh yeah, off your hand. They were makes off your hand. They were absolute no doubters.
Every time I left it, Luke said, "Well, here's an execute, or here's an easy spare."
Yeah, I don't now. One thing is, I don't think I've seen. We had some pretty bad luck on chopping stuff. I have never seen because we all chop stuff.
Oh yeah.
If we had multiple pin spares outside of a giant split, it was just going to get chopped. And some of them, it's like I don't know how many times we can get such bad luck to chop all these spares, 6-10s and 3-6-10s and 2-4-7s and 4-7s and whatever else. I don't know how we chopped so many of those. We could have just gotten lucky and bailed out of some of those. So there was some bad luck on the chops, but in general, just we threw away so many pins on spares.
Oh, we did. Hey, not to mention too, and you're talking about bad luck on chops. Maybe not as much on Sunday, but Saturday for sure. Talk about bad luck. We had teams that were turning big 4s into 6-10s, and they would get lucky and get out of splits, and it's turning into spares. And when you're bowling stuff like that, it really magnifies everything because especially when you're struggling to make good shots and make spares, it's just gonna derail you. I mean. Yeah. Guys, we got 4 points on day one.
And we had a lot of that was self-inflicted, but a lot of it was unusually bad luck too. Yeah. We lost a couple team games. I know that I threw a couple games away on just spares. And then we had a couple team games that we lost by under 10.
And that hurts. Those are 2 points apiece.
Yeah. But the weird thing about Swiss is that since every round's a position round, if we get those points, then we're going to be bowling against tougher competition. And would we have ended up scoring the points that we did if we were bowling against tougher competition instead of like the bottom of the barrel or whatever?
Yeah.
That's one of those weird things to think about. And we ended up with 21 points out of, there's a 66 possible 60. We finished, let me put this up on the screen.
We had a much better day on Sunday. Let's just say that.
Yeah, we were front row seats. We got 21 points, 21 and 39. Our pin count was pretty brutal. Most of that was spare. I would say that each one of us probably threw away 150 to 200 pins a piece on spares.
Oh, I think that would be completely accurate. Yes.
I mean, I think we bowled 12 games, and I think it was easily 1 to 2 spares a game that we missed, makeables, that we missed.
Yes.
And so we could have added 600 pins to that score. The really brutal one here is that Trevor's team outscored the field by 120 pins.
And didn't cash.
They outscored first by 330 pins.
And did not cash.
Yeah, and they finished 13th.
He was definitely pissed off. Let's just say that.
The team that got second, 74-20. The team that got fourth, 72-32. And you've got to go all the way down to 23rd place, got scored almost 7,500. 24, James's team, 73-62. They outscored the fourth place team, the fifth place team, the sixth place team. How did the seventh place team got 6,800 pins?
Mm-hmm.
Like the next lowest 6,800 pins is in seventh, and there was a 7,000 count in 37th.
I'm telling you, it's just draw, man. It's just draw. It really is draw.
It's draws. You get to, and a lot of the teams in the top part, you get, the pattern is incredibly difficult. It was
hard.
Tough. I think it's a little bit harder on the left side than it is on the right side, but it's absolutely brutal on the right side too. We saw, the best teams, again, we're watching all these teams shoot these kind of smaller scores. And, it's just one of these things where, 6,801 got seventh place. They actually cashed. But I think a lot of these teams up near the top, they got the points early when they needed them, and then they kind of stayed up there. They kind of traded points back and forth and then stayed up there. And then some other teams, like 37th place, outscored 7th place by 200 sticks.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of yin and yang of this. Yes, and the big thing about this. So I see some of the team names. Yeah. So this is one where we were Puffy Party for a little bit.
We were Puffy Party, yeah.
The team names are the best thing about Swiss, and you can change them every single game.
Yes.
And so depending on how you're bowling, what you're doing, whatever else. Like Trevor's team outscored the entire field.
And that makes sense of why he's pissed.
Outscored the entire field, and they got it 13th.
Ouch.
They got everyone's biggest, but they had, like James just put in the chat, pins against 76, 84. Nobody else had it. It's just, with every round being a position round, you wouldn't think that the results would be this wild. You would think, okay, well, if this is a round, this would make more sense if it's a round robin tournament. But some of the places and some of the total pinfalls and the points and whatever else is just absolutely insane. It's just completely crazy. Now, we scored so badly that, we kind of finished where we were going to finish based on total pinfall. So we were front row seats in 44th, and we had the 44th total pinfall. So that is what it is. Yeah, Trevor. What James said, Trevor's team's pins against would have been the third highest team total pinfall of the entire tournament. So Trevor's team should have won running away. I mean, absolutely running away.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. What's sad about this weekend for us, though, is we're never this bad. Usually we're about a mid-pack finish.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we finish about mid-pack in I'm talking anywhere from 19th. I know last 2 years ago, because we didn't get the bowl last year, I think we had a solid first day and we were in the teens, which is a good start to the weekend. I think we ended up finishing like 25th, 26th.
We're normally in the 20s, which I'm okay with.
No, me too. Which is we were on the same pattern a couple of years ago, and we bowled much better. So
let's look at and so this is the thing. This is what really gets me is that, we're all getting older. I'm not even bowling with my right hand.
Don't tell people that.
Yeah. But if you look at some of these teams, okay, so let's go through here and look at this. Amy Dillon Bruce is ridiculous for those that don't know who Amy is. She's a stone cold killer. If you don't, Kayla Bandy, coaches Vanderbilt, I think. Probably not, but she's an assistant coach at she's a volunteer assistant at like Newman now. Okay. Trevor Dillon of Boog. Everybody knows who Boog is. Booglin. We should have been Booglin one.
Booglin would have been good, yeah.
Eddie Bird's a big local name.
That's my dude right there, Eddie Bird.
Eddie Bird.
We both got to give each other a hug because of the Broncos on Sunday, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gave each other some love.
Eddie Bird's the dude. Garrett Andrews, Elliot Greer, and Caden Cook. Garrett is on Wichita State's first team this year, by the way. So is Braden Malish, Brandon Caruso, and Carter Street. If you don't know who they are, you should.
Yeah.
Chaston, Braden Longenecker, Sammy Calderon, and Cole Munley.
Why couldn't Eddie Bird and John Johnson and Brad Cooper have done that against us?
Well, that would have been their last game.
What the heck?
I don't know. Jacob White on Evans' team. He's on Wichita State's first team this year. Andy Sykes, Lockwood, and Dutcher.
They struggled. That's a good team.
Yeah. A bunch of scrubs up there. Yeah, it's just
scrubs.
Yeah. Yeah, Ryan Brent and Brandon Mathias bowled really well.
I mean, when they came out of the gates hot.
Yeah, that was a brutal condition, and those guys averaged 190 to 200. That's a good weekend for those guys. And
absolutely.
Not saying surprising weekend. It's just they showed up and they bowled well.
Right.
That's a tough pattern. So anybody that bowls that well, I mean, if you look at the team that won, Braden Malish and Brandon Carter, 20. So there's 12 games. So Braden at 12 games averaged like 205, 207, 208. Brandon Caruso and Carter Street a little under 210 because 25-20 would have been 210. So the team that won averaged like 630 or 625 basically a game. And Ryan, Brent, and Brandon bowled damn near close. I mean, ignore our pinfall.
Hey, I shot 150 that game. Went 4-8 on the weekend.
Yeah. Cody Shoemaker, Eric Jones, and Cam Crow. Eric Jones was all over the World Series of Bowling last year. Cam Crow, if you don't know who he is, you should.
Multiple time. Team USA, he just made it through tour trials. He's now on tour.
Yeah. Kenny Ronan, David Sullivan, and Sean Nauman, those guys, they competed all weekend, and they're pretty big names that are not like huge names.
Actually, if you go to Boys That Love to Kiss, real quick, if you go to Boys That Love to Kiss, I'm sorry, that team.
Yeah.
Cody Shoemaker actually bowled. He chased a lot of PTQs this last year. He does some stuff with J.R. Raymond, but they actually the PBA did a video with him on one of the PTQ, his thoughts and transition and everything, and mic'd him up. Go back and watch that because it's actually a really, really good video.
And he's great.
Yeah,
one of those names that you probably don't know, but you should.
Yeah, he throws it good.
Samantha Knight, PWBA. Nick Parr is a big motive rep.
He was my motive guy for a while. Yeah.
Bo, Riley, and James, a huge team.
Never heard of her.
Russ Wilson, Joe Keltner, Jay Futrell. There's 4 Eagles on that team, plus an ITC or 2. Daryl Banks, Jason Woodford, and Jeff Hatt won last year.
Not even Diddy's Luke can help. I never heard that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daddy. That's good.
Tyune Madison is on bowls for Wichita State. Josh Hammonds is going to be on their first team this year. He's from Topeka. Sarah Clausen graduated from Wichita State. She was great on the women's team. She's on Team Canada.
She actually just released her video for Swiss Trios, if you guys want to watch.
Yeah. Jared Rumpick, Colton Ruschetti, and Justin Zwashka, all Wichita State bowlers. Jared Hromick is Justin Hromick's son. Chris Schumacher, Kyle Brewer, Kyle Berry, Mike Murtha, Nick Powers, Packy Hanrahan's team. Packy, everybody knows Packy. Ricky.
God, we were next to him after game 2. Yeah. I was like, "What the heck are you doing down here?"
Ricky Ellison. She was Ricky Williams. She bowled for Wichita State. Brandon Bonner, Ryan Barnes, Spencer Robarge. If you don't know who they are, you should. Tony Mana's kid, Sean Rangel, Roger Petrin, CJ Petrin, and Kevin Williams. Devin Bidwell is somebody that you should know also. Ridiculously good. Mary Jo Barr is Maria Jose Rodriguez. She just went by Mary Jo Barr because she kept her maiden name. She's known as Maria Jose Rodriguez. So that's who that is.
I think she actually legally changed her name to Bohr. But
okay.
she just goes on the tour. She goes by Maria Jose Rodriguez, so people know who she is.
Because nobody would have any idea who Mary Jo Bohr is.
I mean, if they see her, they figure it out. The reason why I say that because she actually was wearing Bohr jerseys this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I parked next to them in their Tesla all weekend.
Yeah, Nathan is exempt for this year.
He is. I tell you what, for a guy that has been a journeyman and has grinded his ass off to get to where he's at, good for him.
Yeah, I'm pulling for him so hard this year.
Throws is so good.
He's such a great dude too.
Yeah, he is.
Such a nice guy. He deserves to win. Yeah, why are there 9 teams that are mini Team USAs? Yeah, that's the thing. And then you look at Joe Richardson, Tim Penner, and Nick Vaughn. These guys are 40-ish guys that were big name Wichita State bowlers 20 years ago. Tim Penner chased the tour for a couple of years. Sam Goebel, Lucas Pajakovic, Brandon Collins, Gabe Alvarez, and TJ Rock. You gotta know who those guys are. And then we get on the last page here. Brent Bowers, Will Barnes, and Tommy Jones. If you don't know who those guys are, you should. Keeler, Klein, and Gromlovitz. Tyler won the TAT last year.
Yeah.
One of the TATs last year. Andy Klein averages 250 in St. Louis. Okay, why does this get out of the way? Get out of the way.
Austin Bowles, Justin Crumley, and Zach Wilkins.
Maximite. Nope, I don't want to max. Okay, Zach Rhodes, Jesse Bauer, and Trey Brand. Derek Lewis, Blake DeMore. Blake DeMore is Spencer Robarge's older brother. Wesley Edwards. Austin Bowles, Justin Crumley, and Zach Wilkins. I mean, it just the teams are ridiculous.
Legit. Yeah, they're legit.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's not. So I'm not expecting to go in there and cash necessarily, because there's so many professionals with titles. Then you have the ex-Wichita State bowlers that have had titles back in the day, or like the Russ Wilsons and Jay Futrells and Keltners that also have Eagles at the Open Championships. Then you have a Zach Rhodes that has an Eagle and an ITC and shot 300 a couple years ago with our group at Nationals. Then you have the national title holders. Tommy Jones has 2021 titles. Kevin Williams, Packy. Then you got Spencer Robarge and Ryan Barnes and Brandon Bonna and like 10 junior Team USA kids on there. Team USA. And so there's like half of these teams in the field are just insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the weekend warriors like Dylan, who won the RPI a couple years ago. It just the locals that don't have the accomplishments, so to speak. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you got to get out of the accomplishments to get into the local bowlers or the big time amateur bowlers that clean up everything. And then you get down to the normies at like 30th place or whatever that are just going to bowl the tournament because it's amazing. And so it's one of those things where I don't walk in expecting to cash or really compete or anything. I walk in expecting it's an amazing tournament. You're going to rub elbows with a bunch of people and have a great time. But at the same time, it's kind of nice to be the boomer bowl review guy bowling with the wrong hand, stealing some points from some people. So I'm not walking in the building thinking, okay, well, everybody's better than I am. I'm just going to lose. But I'm not exactly so unrealistic to the point where I think I'm going to walk in against professional bowlers and Team USA and Wichita State and think that I'm actually going to compete with that, you know?
Look, can I parlay off that real quick? Look, what he said, yes, right? I'm not those guys. He's not those guys. But we've got to be better than that. I mean, that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. We've got to be better.
Yeah,
we are better than that because we have been way better than that. We've been close to cashing in this tournament multiple times.
Well, that's the thing is I'm not. Some people walk in the building. It's like, oh my God, everybody else is better than I am, and I feel bad beating people better than I am. Well, the only way that you can get better than you are is by beating people that are better than you are. So that's a piss poor attitude to walk in with. So we're more like the spoiler team that it's like other people will be pissed if they lose to us. And if we end up getting a cashing spot, that'd be great. That'd be amazing. Realistically speaking, we're a 20th to 30th team. But we're close enough in contention to where if we have a good weekend, we can steal some points and put ourselves in a good spot. And as you saw on the list, it's like it doesn't really matter how you bowl.
The draw, baby.
You got to kind of navigate the waters and whatever. And a lot of those teams that ended up in the top 10 just kind of got up into the top 10 early and traded points back and forth and kind of stayed where they were at. And so part of it is just we got ourselves too far in the weeds too early.
Yeah. Once you're buried. It's done.
Yeah.
I told you on Saturday morning when we sat there at the bar for a minute to watch some football, I just had a feeling in my head of like something doesn't feel right. We're gonna get a shit draw here, and I didn't expect it to barrel roll like that. No, but I just had a feeling. I don't know what it was, but we've got to be better. I mean, I've got to be better. You've got to be better. He's got to be better. Yeah, that's just unacceptable. Get out in front of this, and like somebody messaged me on Facebook after I posted the jerseys. And was like, he had to point out you got 4 points on Saturday. Yeah, thanks. You a big man? Cool. Good for you. Yeah, we bowled bad. So what? Who cares? We move on.
We bowled bad. We didn't bowl 4 points bad because there were other teams after the first day. Now let me see if I can pull that up because he would have.
Are you a big guy because you pointed that out? Cool. I mean, you never bowled bad before. And it happens. I don't care.
8, 7. After 6, do we have after 6 games? Yeah.
But you know what? I went to dinner. I left the bowling center. I wasn't pissed off. I went and had dinner with you guys. Drank a beer, had a smile on my face. And we went back on the next morning. And guess what we did when we started on Sunday morning? We started 5-0. So just turn the page and move on.
So we were, here you go. I will save this and I will put it up so everybody can see it.
Okay.
But this is kind of insane.
Sorry for my rant there. That's kind of stuff that frustrates me.
Okay, that's week 12. No, that's the wrong one. Is this? No, failed threesome.
That is a great name. That is Ken Caudell's team name, I think.
Oh, man, I just uploaded the wrong one, I'm pretty sure.
What are you trying to pull up?
All right. So, waiting on our bus, 3,000 pins, not good, 30-34. The team in 30th place with 13 points had 30-18. So, looking at this, there's not a whole lot of other teams, 30-15 is up in 40th, 30-26 is in 44th. So it's not like we're saying that we should. I mean, we just scored significantly worse than everybody else. But it's also one of these things that's like, okay, well, 30th place scored worse than we did with their handicap. There's not a whole lot of handicap there. I think it's like a max of 10 pins a bowler, and it's like 70% of 210. So there's not a whole lot of handicap involved in the first place. But with their handicap, they got less pins than we did, but somehow they had 13 points and we're in 30th. So it's kind of a crapshoot to a certain extent. We bowled bad. We missed a lot of easy spares. We threw a lot of points away.
We did.
But the luck of the draw does kind of come into it, because especially after the first game, like I remember Kevin Williams' team, Bang on Thane, him and Michael Holloman and AJ Rice a couple years ago, they shot 450 or 460 the first game, but 0-5, and then they won the tournament.
Yeah.
And so they went like 450, 550, and then they destroyed everybody the rest of the way out. Like we were down there, I couldn't believe Packy's team was down there. After we went 0-5, we bowled, what's his name's team? Garrett Andrews and.
We went down there and bowled Caden and them.
Yeah, Caden and Garrett Andrews. And it's like, okay, this is great. We just went 0-5. We got swept, and we're bowling Wichita State first teamers down here. This
everybody except for Caden Cook. He's not Wichita State.
Yeah,
he's a local guy.
Yeah,
but still, like what the hell? It was one of those weekends where we just caught shit draws, and that's like I said, I got irritated when somebody says something like that and calls it out. Like, you a big boy because you said something? Like, we bowled bad.
Yeah,
it's over. It is what it is. So what? I'm not afraid to admit it. You're not afraid to admit it. We were bad. We got to be better.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is that there has been some times where some of us have bowled better, or we've gotten more points, or whatever else. But this year, it was just we all sucked. We all bowled bad. We all missed a bunch of easy spares. There was no one of us bowled significantly better than the other ones. We all sucked this weekend.
We were awful.
Point blank. And I told Amanda that at some point. It's like, you know what? I'd feel bad for missing spares or shooting these bad scores, but it's like every single one of us is dog shit this weekend.
Yeah.
Like every single one of us. And so even though you look at the numbers and want to compare the averages, it's like, okay, well, there's nothing to compare. There's nothing to compare. It doesn't matter. And the points don't matter either, because that's part of we were all like in a super tight range on points anyway. But if you look at some of that depends on who you bowl too.
Compare it all you want. I sucked.
You
may have sucked just a little less, and then he may have sucked just a little less than you and me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was close. It wasn't like one guy went, hey, I'm here. I won and did all this. Where are you guys at? No, we sucked.
Yeah.
We deserved what we got.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yep.
It's my rant, and I'm going to rant over it. And, I mean, I still enjoy the tournament. In my opinion, that is the best tournament I bowl every year. I look forward to that tournament every year. I look forward to bowling with you every year. And, it's one thing that I still think that one of these years maybe we'll do something good and we'll catch the right draws.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying we'll win the damn thing, but I'd like to cash one year, and I think we can do it.
Yeah. So, and I think that's the biggest thing for this weekend is that it just okay. So we're not expecting to be in contention to finish in the top 5 with all these crazy teams. Cashing or getting close to cashing or being in the top 20 would even be great, especially with the competition and whatever. But it's just finishing a couple spots away from last is kind of hurts a little bit, even though it's a fun weekend. Finishing close to last hurts a little bit, honestly.
No, it hurts a lot. It hurts a lot. I'm still pissed off about it.
Yeah, even though it's a great tournament, and if we finish last every year, I would still sign up for the tournament. I would still be there. I don't care. I'm going to put in my deposit every single year, and if we finish in last for the next 10 solid years, I'm going to keep putting the deposit in.
I'm going to pay a Venmo McFadden, by the way. Get that out of the way.
And it's such a great tournament that I care, but I don't care. And so I'm just going to bowl it no matter what. And in my particular situation, it's like, well, I'm bowling on house money anyway, because I'm nobody else in that. Kevin Williams is right-handed. He bowls lefty. Nobody else in that building is bowling with their opposite hand. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm not supposed to beat anybody in there anyway. And so if I do happen to compete, cool.
I'm going to
try.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I disagree.
Yeah.
You're better than you think you are over there.
I'm going to try harder this year. I'm going to get some practice in. It's just I had a really busy year, too many ball reviews, too much YouTube stuff, and so I'm going to, especially since I'm getting closer to the magical age where I can start competing in the senior stuff. I'm going to be an old guy at the Tom Sue in 2 years. I get done.
Are you bowling the Tom Sue this year?
Yeah, I am actually, because Josh Martin Franz asked me.
That's funny. He asked me too. So we were going to be on the same team, but I can't because of Raylan's gymnastics.
Yeah. So yeah.
What the heck?
Going to bowl with Brian Strickland. He's going to be.
That's my boy.
But everybody has trouble finding old guys, and the old guy for the Tom Sue is 45, and so I'll be 45 in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be the old guy for the Tom Sue here before too long, and then as soon as I hit 50, there's senior stuff galore. And so I had always thought that it's like, okay, well, I'm getting into the lefty stuff, and it is what it is for right now, but I do want to be good enough by the time I hit 50 to where I can at least compete a little bit, once I get into that special age bracket or whatever. But the Swiss trios is going to be one of those things where it's just there's going to be younger, better bowlers there the entire time. But
can I borrow some rev rate from somebody too while we're at it?
Yeah, it'd be nice it would have been nice to be right-handed with a 500 rev rate this weekend. I will say that.
Oh, hell yeah.
I will say that. But Trevor and them did awful good as far as points go. I think Spencer bowled pretty okay. So there was something on the left side. It wasn't great. It wasn't as good as the right side, but it wasn't significantly different. It was 5-10 sticks a game, maybe, but that's not going to, when you're talking about professional level, that's not going to ruin somebody. Cam Crow and Eric Jones got second. Cam shot 260.
Great final match, by the way. We got to watch that front row.
yeah, we got to be right there. And
shoot.
Yeah. So
this isn't I want everybody to know this isn't like a poor us show. This conversation. This is we've got to be better and just absolutely awful. Just I think it feels better just to shit on ourselves right now. Like just dump on it. I mean, it really does get the load off. So
yeah, it's one of those things too where Bruce has got a lot of stuff going on. You've got a lot of stuff going on. I've got a lot of stuff going on. It's all different stuff, but it's just we're busy. We didn't intentionally go into it like, okay, we're just being lazy, and we didn't because we tried to get out there and practice. It just worked out.
I got sick. Yeah,
and we got on it a little bit too late. And then even then, all the rest of those guys, they bowl several times a week. The Wichita State guys are practicing like every single day. Some of those people do it for a living. And so it's just one of those things. It's like we weren't being lazy or apathetic or just kind of chuckling our way into it and then just mad that we didn't succeed despite not preparing at all. The intention was there. It's just we're just busy. And so maybe we just need to be a little bit more intentional about it this year. Get out and practice. I'm going to try to get out and practice a little bit more.
Yeah, same.
And
I need to get off. That's the other thing I need to work on too. Is sorry if I cut you off. I need to get out of house shot mentality a lot. Especially when we get closer. I've got to get on patterns a lot more. I used to, when we were bowling Dave and Mike stuff a lot more, I was on patterns more and more and more. Now they're doing less stuff. Not in that anymore. And I could see that day one, like right out of the get-go. I'm like, holy crap, I've got too much house shot mentality in my brain.
Yeah.
And that will wreck you. I mean, absolutely wreck you when you're bowling on stuff like that. Because, I mean, we were bowling on 44-foot, 28 mils. That's a lot of freaking volume.
Almost 29. It was like 28.95.
It was high. That's a lot of volume.
Long and heavy.
You miss outside of 10, depending on where you're playing them, 9, the ball's gone. Gone.
Yeah.
I don't care. You could be in, you could be right. Unless you've got a 900 rev rate, the ball's not picking up. So
yeah, and again, if you look at some of the better bowlers, so 12 games, so 2,400 is averaging 200. If you look down through some of these, like Trevor Dillon and Boog bowled really well, but even Boog, professional Boog,
I mean, 2-time champion this year.
Yeah, 2580 is at 12 games. That's like a 212, 213 average. So a professional title holder is averaging that. Garrett Andrews, first team Wichita State, average 208-ish. Braden Malish.
Yeah, and that's who I bowled in that match.
Braden Malish is one of the best. Remember the name Braden Malish because he is ridiculous. Absolutely filthy ridiculous. Brandon Caruso and Carter Street also throw it absolutely amazing, ridiculous. Chaston Pojas is he's a tiny little dude, but he's kind of a spitfire. He's a lot of fun to watch. Jacob White, first teamer for Wichita State, didn't average 200. Eric Jones was on like 3 shows for the World Series of Bowling, averaged 205. Cam Crow, one of the big names out there, two-handed lefty, didn't average to like 208. Kenny Ryan, super good lefty, didn't average 200. Where's the other scores we get into? Russ Wilson averaged 200 on the nose. Why does it say December 7th, 2024? I have no idea. That is kind of weird. The date on there is 12/7/2024.
They probably just never changed it.
Yeah.
McFadden, though, I had a chat with him when we got done. He was excited that we were back, and he talked to him for a couple minutes. Like, yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys coming back. I really enjoy seeing you guys every time you're here.
Yeah.
I know, unfortunately, you guys had to miss for a wedding. I said, yeah, I won't say what I had to say, but it's okay.
Trevor, yeah.
Love you, Trevor, but it's all right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I see in here, Jonathan Tiffany says the good news is we are planning on tagging along next year, so we can all suck together. Are you talking about tagging along to bowl the Swiss Trios?
Those are KCO, which we would love to have you for everything, but
because the Swiss Trios is already full.
Yeah,
everybody pretty much books up when they're there, so you can come out and watch. But yes, I really hope you come to KCO.
Yeah,
I'd love to see you guys and meet the baby.
Yeah, we don't. Those guys did fine, and they did better than their position. Their position suggested. Bo is a PBA title. He won a regional.
He's got a regional title, yeah. Yes, he does. Here comes the baby. Sorry.
Super fan of Team USA. Ryan Barnes, Spencer Robarge. Those guys, Brandon averaged 201 or 202, 203.
Nobody's gonna see
Spencer has a big butt.
This way.
Ryan Barnes, Spencer Robarge. Those guys barely averaged 210. What's up, Ray Ray?
Said sup, Ray Ray.
Sup.
Sup, dude?
Kevin
And this
Williams.
little girl right here was a champ all weekend with us while we struggled. She was there with us all weekend.
Yeah, she was awesome. Kevin
You don't have
Williams
to lie to kick it.
barely averaged 190. Yeah, it's just some of these names on here, like Brandon Collins, Gabe Alvarez, and TJ Brock. I mean, Gabe Alvarez shot slightly better than I did, and he's really good. And I'm bowling with I shot 21-10. So he got 12 more sticks. He got one more stick a game than I did, and he's good. And I'm bowling with the wrong hand.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I'll pull it off here in a second.
Tommy Jones doing Tommy Jones things.
Okay, I'll tell you when I get up.
Zach Wilkins doing Zach Wilkins things.
Yeah, he bowled pretty solid.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're talking about some of the best bowlers on the planet averaging like 210, 215.
Dude, my dude Wilkins is only getting better and better. Am I wrong?
Dude, Zach's ridiculous. And he does it. He's got such a great attitude besides that. We have to get him on the show again because he's currently 1-1 on TV with a 250 something average.
Yeah. Because
he lost to Kyle Troop's 279 on that show that he made. He shot 250 something.
Yeah.
1-1, averaging 250 something on TV. So,
I mean, he's got some of the best ball reaction out there when he's throwing Brunswick stuff right now. Mm-hmm. So it's smart. But he's he wants to come back on. He just told me when. So I'll get him on whenever you want.
He's such a great guy that he doesn't have to be as cool as he is, but he's one of the guys that you want to root for several different reasons.
He gave me a lot of shit on Sunday, by the way, because I had I don't know if you saw, I had the Broncos game on the tablet. So it kept going up, and he's a big Buccaneers fan.
Yeah,
and of course we just absolutely dumped the Buccaneers on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But they were 2-0. Like they were going into that game, like what is going on here? I told him like, sorry, brother, it is what it is.
Yeah, because I looked at that and thought that the Buccaneers have just dump trucked their opponents the first 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, they're playing the Broncos. That's an easy add-on to my parlay this week.
And we were on the road.
Yeah.
Let's go, boys. Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm a horsey.
But by the way, in case the does don't follow me on Facebook, I love football. Last week I hated football. So
yeah.
No, that was a good rant. I actually enjoyed that chat about Swiss trios because we could actually absolutely shit on ourselves a lot more than that.
Yeah.
We're just giving you the PG version of it. Wasn't good. It just wasn't good, and we've got to be better. Abin and I had a long talk on the way home, and I don't know. There's no other excuses other than execution, and got to work before you get there. So I don't know. It's frustrating, but we'll bounce back. I know we will.
I think that's one of those things that translates to other people's personal bowling. It's like, number one, I went back and looked at previous years. We didn't score a whole lot better or a whole lot worse on previous years, but we got significantly more points. Sometimes it's the luck of the draw. In this case, we missed a ton of easy spares. So I think if nothing else, even if we just did spare practice, got out there and practiced some spares, got a little bit more luck on not chopping so many, that would also help. But if we just practice our spares a little bit more, got the spare percentage up, we would have added 150 to 200 pins onto our averages and would have gotten significantly more points. So spares are important, especially the tougher the conditions get. And this has been the same pattern for the last 3 years. It really does play. I think that pattern is it's bordering on the little bit too tough side, but I think it's bordering on too tough, but it's also bordering on really fair too, because you do get rewarded. It's the format that kind of adds some interesting wrinkles in there. But I think that the pattern, I'm okay if they had Kegel design them a pattern, and if they use that pattern from here going forward, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that pattern because if we made good shots, we got rewarded for those good shots. They kept people honest. Very difficult, but I didn't feel like it was unfair. There was a couple pairs that we got on where I'm like, okay, this is just dog shit. This is awful. That one pair where I didn't really shoot anything big, but I didn't have anything under 170 until we got on that one stupid ass pair, and I went 140, 150, and then we got off that pair, we got 200.
10-11. Game 10-11.
Yeah, it's like, my God, if I didn't have those, if we didn't bowl twice on that pair, because me and the other lefty on one of those games, we both shot 140, and I'm like, okay, this is stupid. And it wasn't 140 missing spares. It was 140 getting splits and dumped on, and it was just an impossible pair.
The one thing that cracked me up, though, is you looked at me and you're like, I guarantee you $100.
Yeah.
The next lefty that hits this pair will not shoot 150 or will not shoot. What was it?
170 or
170.
No, 180. I said
180. 180. And Cam Crow goes front 8. I was like, I said, Luke, pay me.
Well, and Chelsea that was on Ken's team, she's like, so that's not looking so great over there. And I'm like, okay, so he went Brooklyn the first shot and then aced the next 7. The next 7 were the most perfectly pure, ridiculously awesome shots I've ever seen a human being throw. Eric Jones shot 158, though. By the way, just throwing that out there.
Actually, I think Eric Jones had several 150s over the weekend. I think he just got picked up.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just the left side was a little bit tougher than the right side. Yeah. I told several people, it's like, I'm never bowling this tournament left-handed again if they're using this pattern. But you're
a lion sack of shit.
All things considered, especially after the look I had with the black hammer that last game, it's like, okay, so the right side was slightly easier than the left, only because they broke down and got a little bit of help from that. But Bo bowled pretty well. Trevor bowled pretty well. There were several lefties, and Spencer bowled pretty good.
Yeah,
compared to the field. So I don't think it was unfair or unfair enough to really have a serious, significant gripe about.
Yeah.
It just slightly. And if we bowl on that pattern, again, like I said, if we bowl on that pattern for the next 10 years, I can't really be too mad about that, because it is a pretty good pattern, but at the same time, it's longer, it's higher volume, it does favor the higher rev rates on the right side where it's going to break down a little bit. But yeah,
excuse me.
Before we got into the rabbit trail, I think it's one of those things that, like, even if there are people in the building that are technically better than you are, play the spoiler. You know, it's like those teams that are not going to make the playoffs in the last couple of weeks, but they're playing teams that have playoff hopes. You want to be the spoiler. So just because there's better people than you in the building, that doesn't mean that you can't beat them. That doesn't mean, you have to, all PBA champions, EJ Tackett was the little guy at some point. Belmo was the little guy at some point. Mark Roth, Walter Ray, Pete Weber, they were all the rookies at some point, and you don't get better by walking into the building and saying, okay, everybody's better than I am. Well, they might be better than you right now, but that doesn't mean you can't beat them. That doesn't mean you can't play spoiler. That doesn't mean that you can't get better, whatever else. So that's walking in with the underdog mentality is both good and bad. If you walk in with the underdog mentality and think, okay, well, and that's a negative, that's bad. Okay.
Yeah.
That's bad. Okay.
Yeah, Gaz, your thing definitely was not in play. It was looked at early and then it went away.
It wasn't
didn't even look on the right side
until the very last game where the Black Hammer looked amazing, and I missed a couple makeables for 2-0. That last game, the Black Hammer looked the Black Hammer looked really good, but I drilled a Pink Widow urethane that looked like dog shit. Both my purples looked like dog shit. both my blacks looked like dog shit. And so I didn't even get the IQ 78 out because if those don't look good, if I would have had the same look early with the black hammer that I had the last game, I'd have been fine. I'd have been throwing the black, and I think I'm going to get out and practice with that. We got the pattern. We've got the pattern, and I think they're going to continue to use that pattern because they've used it the last 3 years. It's a great scoring pace. It's tough, but mostly fair. So I think they're going to continue to use that pattern. Yeah. So
even if they don't, I would like to get out with you, and I don't care who else bowls with us.
Yeah,
I'd like to get out and just bowl on it, and just bowl and figure out, and just get, like I said, just get out of that house shot mentality and just practice on it.
Yeah,
I think we definitely need to make every month we need to come up with a couple dates and say, let's go do this. And I don't care who comes. I really don't. Let's just practice.
Yeah, even just once a month. Once a month.
Yeah, once a month.
It would be significantly better than what we're doing right now. And football season's over in February. If you're a Broncos fan, it's over earlier than that.
Hey, easy.
Hey, you guys didn't win the official lottery like the Chiefs did the last 3 years. Hopefully one year it'll be your year where they just say the officials just say, you know what, we really like this Bo Nix guy, and so we're just going to give all the calls to him, and we're going to make the Broncos the super team for the next couple of years.
Don't get me started.
Broncos were the super team a couple of years ago, but we can only pull one Super Bowl out of our ass.
No. I just dropped back and threw it to the wrong team.
You know what? You got to love that response, though, right? Like, gotta love the response.
The basic things I've ever heard. So that
he's going to be good. I'm telling you, I really like Bo. He could be Caleb Williams right now.
With a head like that, absolutely. It's like I just drop back and throw it to the other team.
Jaden Daniels is still the best. He's still the best rookie in that draft. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he was so good. KC Refs 3-0. I think they're 2-1. 2-1. He definitely had his foot was out of bounds in that Bengal or that first game of the season. But last 2 weeks they call that PI and then they don't call that PI. It's like get wrecked.
The rest have not been good. It just and you can say okay, well the Chiefs are still one of the most penalized teams, but the penalties that come in some penalties are more impactful than others. To be perfectly fair.
They just need to call them in the right times and when not to call them. It is what it is. You can swallow a whistle. You just don't get me started. I'm not one of those guys that does it. I keep it behind closed doors, but I mean, like I said, I root for a football team that's just I know what I'm getting every week. And when we play good like we did last week, I get excited. Like Eddie Bird and I were ready to hug on Sunday. I go into the bathroom and I said, you guys done? He's like, no, I'm just finishing up. And he said, well, what's the score? And I said, well, we're up 23-7. And he says, how much time's left? And I said, like 6 minutes. Oh, we're good. I looked at him. I said, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
Yeah. Slow down here.
He goes, okay, yeah, that's fair. But I'll take a win. We're going to lose next week to the Jets in New York, but it's all right. I'll take a win there. Builds a lot of confidence. Yeah, Bo uses his legs a lot more. He definitely looks better than Caleb Williams did, at least the last couple weeks anyway. Jaden Daniels, like I said earlier, is the best quarterback in the draft. Jaden Daniels is a stud. Did you see what he did last night? Holy crap.
Yeah.
Sorry, not last night. Monday.
Yeah, he cost me a little bit of money because I took the wrong team, and then he slaughtered them. However, I did have a fair amount of money on the Bills game, and so they made me enough money to. The Bills made me money on Monday. So.
Giants moved to 1-2, Super Bowl bound, baby. I mean, Broncos are 1-2. Let's go.
Yeah.
I actually had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I don't remember who it was. It was actually, I want to say it was a Bumgarner, but I don't remember which one it was. And they think that the Raiders are going to be the last place finish in the West, and it wouldn't be the Broncos. So I was shocked. I was like, all right. Okay. All right.
Well, the Baumgartners are also Cowboys fans. So,
No, one of them is. One
well,
of them is.
Haley was wearing a shirt that said she married into it.
This is coming from Trevor Lee that will literally wear Chief stuff all the time. I've never told you the last time you watched a Cowboy game. All right, get out of here.
Yeah.
This is the guy that'll show up wearing a Chief shirt and Cowboy sweatpants. And he's like, "This is my 12 o'clock. This is my 3 o'clock." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you don't match. You look like a, yeah." We won't go there.
You look like a puppy party.
Thank you. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yep.
It's 8 o'clock, folks. I don't know if you want to chat any longer. I don't have to put shit away anymore because I have my own desk. But
yeah, and Angel is still at league. I've got a little bit to finish off. So this is actually this is another one that I know that you probably weren't going to like. It's a vanilla stout that Jess brought me from down their way, Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah.
Vanilla Fent. It's a vanilla porter. It's a vanilla porter English style. And so you can definitely taste the malt from the English kind of feel.
I don't know if I'd hate that. I like vanilla though.
I've got another one. So this was one that I have 2 cans of, so we might try this one out.
Okay.
And then Derek stopped and brought me some stuff from Black Dog in Indianapolis when we went to Pennsylvania earlier this year to see the kiddo and a wedding. We stopped by where we were in Indianapolis on the way back, I'm pretty sure. And we stopped at Black Dog Brewery. Black Dog in Indianapolis. If you're anywhere close to Black Dog, it's great. And he brought me a 4-pack back from Black Dog. So we'll have some of those in a couple weeks here.
Sweet.
So
I like it. Yeah, because next year I'll be there. So I was gonna be there tonight, but I finally got my new desk. I wanted to test out my setup because my computer's setting up a little higher. Usually it's like right in front of my face. And then we just kind of threw this together tonight. So don't mind this. By the time next one, I should have some stuff around. I want to put some shelves up and stuff. And hopefully have some others. I mean, I didn't have Elvis up here tonight. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Got to have Elvis behind me in somewhere. Because those that know me real good know that I'm an Elvis, big Elvis guy. So.
Is that Abby I see though back there?
This is a very, very young Abby, actually. Yeah. Yeah, this is sad. But she's got to be with me. I miss her every day.
Yeah.
Miss her every day. Well, there's some other stuff around here that I've got. Like, I don't mind. I'm not putting it back in the same spot. I got this one here for Father's Day. It looks like an Apple playlist thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. And then a picture of Amanda and I. But just sitting here. I have a globe right there, too, by the way. An actual globe.
Okay.
Like, we can see the world right now.
Yeah.
Want to see the world?
That's cool.
There we go. I've always wanted a globe. Never had one at home. There you go.
Yeah.
My mom and stepdad bought me this globe, and it's definitely got to be here. So it might find its way behind me at some point.
Yep. And then the.
Have you ever seen this one, Luke?
I don't think so.
One right here. This is because I used to bowl league at Aaron's Family Fun Center back when they had wood pins.
Yeah. Right.
I've actually shot 300 multiple times at Aaron's, but this is back when they gave them to you out of the rack.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can read it. Can you read it?
Yep, 300 games, 10-1, 2005.
Yeah, 2005. So shows you how old I am.
Yeah.
I was still in high school.
God, I graduated in 99.
Well, I'm old age, so.
Yeah.
Sorry, little old age, but a little younger than you.
The Comp Valley Trophy back there that's one of my favorite things. I've got that up in the office. That's one of the things they really do right. Those trophies are amazing.
Yeah, they're legit, aren't they? Like
yeah.
I can't believe that they do something like that. Like
it
looks like you won like a title. Like it's so cool.
I think that might be either my favorite or pretty close to the top award that I've gotten for anything before. So
Yeah, Amanda's got one too. She's got one. I can see it over in her. So our
Yeah.
desks are like hugged together now. So my desk is here, and the old one I used to sit at is tucked on the other wall. So I'm gonna do some more stuff. I wanted. She didn't know if I wanted the flat wall where I could put like something behind me, but I like being able to put stuff on the mantle and stuff like that. And you can see stuff behind me. See some stuff going on. Got to have my Tigers, right? I've got my Broncos, my Red Sox, and I've got my Tigers. I'm good to go. Now I just need Elvis and be all right. Like I mean, I listen to Sirius XM in my car every day, and it's always Elvis radio. So it's all I listen to. You know, sorry, don't judge me. You judge me? I'll bowl just as I didn't switch trades. Anyway, but no, I don't have anything to talk about. I'm going to the NASCAR race Sunday.
Okay, cool.
For a little bit. Wilkins was supposed to go with us, but he decided that he forgot he had to go to Canada.
Oh, well, okay.
He paid for his ticket already, so it was one of those things he forgot about. So
yeah,
we're gonna take Ray to the race for a little bit. I'm pissed. I want to watch football, but it'll be all right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it'll be all good.
Yeah.
My mom just texted me and said Globe because they got me the Globe. Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah,
it's literally just sitting right here.
God, I don't know how many times I get on Facebook for some reason, like the Flat Earth Society, pages keep popping up, and that's when I lose faith in humanity when there's so many people that believe that the Earth is flat.
Hey, maybe it is.
Like, have we found the edge? I would think that we would have found the edge by now, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I can go on and say a lot of things right now, but we're going to go ahead and say this off the air.
Yeah.
So we'll just stop there.
Yeah.
We'll just let that be and die on that hill.
Mm-hmm.
Shocked you don't have an Elvis jersey yet. I want one. Actually, there's one I really want. I want to get the Elvis Aloha from Hawaii outfit. I want to get that for a jersey. Amanda said she'd kill me, but I'm getting one. So actually, the '68 comeback special jersey would be pretty sick too. So there's a few I'm thinking about. So it's coming. Flat Earthers exist around the globe.
Yeah, that's a good one. Anyway, I think I'm actually done now. I'm finished. So
touche. I'm gonna go up and spend time with the family. It's nice that because Amanda, when I sit at her desk, I've got to take everything apart when we're done. I'm like, shit, this is like another 20 minutes when we get done. Now I can just turn off, done.
Yep.
Sweet.
So I'm gonna go get a little snack. We will see you tomorrow night.
I'll see you tomorrow night. Absolutely.
Good luck and good bowling.
You've messed me up because I still feel like it's Monday.
Yeah. This is we're different now. Even though, yeah. So
we're always different.
It's Wednesday. We have a football game tomorrow night. I have no idea who's playing, but we have football. We have league. Yeah.
It's all good. I'll see you tomorrow night. I'm on 1 and 2. What pair are you on?
I don't remember.
He was on here earlier and said something. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
Well, I'll holler at you. I'm trying to figure out how to turn these lights off under my desk. It's a new desk, and what do I point it at?
I don't know. I can't remember where he posted the.
He said something earlier. This is gonna make me mad.
Yeah, I don't know where it was said at.
Like, this is gonna make me mad. Dallas Giants tomorrow night. So Dallas is actually gonna finally win a football game. Sorry, didn't mean that in a bad way. But all right.
Yep. We will see you tomorrow night.